Welcome to Kenya. Famous for its safaris and some of the world's most amazing wildlife, Kenya is also home to an incredible array of gemstones, ranging from Savarite garnet to ruby and tourmaline. Situated in East Africa, the country's climate is as diverse as its gemstones, from the snow-capped peaks of Mount Kenya through to its warm and humid coastline. Against the advice of the British government due to terrorism threats, Steve Bennett is making the 5,000-mile journey with Simon Barnes from Earthwatch to investigate a possible discovery of blue garnet, one of the rarest forms of the gemstone. Along the way, he'll also meet the local Samburu tribes and take a look with Simon at how our charitable partner Earthwatch is benefiting the local communities. The wildlife of Kenya is so ubiquitous that the journey to the Earthwatch Research Centre, where the team will be staying, offers an amazing opportunity to catch a glimpse of Kenya's most beautiful animals.
Steve, we're here.
Hey.
Welcome to Samburu.
Whoop. Fabulous.
Careful, eh?
Fabulous. That was great.
Amazing, eh? What a day.
Yeah.
What a day.
I think I've seen everything apart from a lion. In fact, I've seen a lot more and a lot closer than I ever imagined.
I can't believe we've come all the way here from Nairobi on our own.
It's great.
You know, we've had a great trip, and I've not seen that that exclusivity, even in the Masai Mara.
It's absolutely cool. And what I like is no tarmac. I love that. I love no tarmac.
Let's go look inside.
Makes it real.
I love the way we put this trip together so quickly, Steve. We've talked about it, got through, and then we've done it, and now we're here.
Yeah.
What is the fascination with blue garnet?
It's just one of those gemstones that comes in an array of colours. You know, you think about sapphires and tourmalines and garnets. Those three gemstones that come in almost any colour. But they've said for the history of mankind, garnet comes in every colour apart from blue.
Fantastic.
And then they first discovered it in the late 80s in Madagascar, but only small amounts. I then discovered it in northern Tanzania about a year ago, the best quality, but it's all dried out. So when you phoned me up and said, look, come to the project. By the way, I think there's some gemstones near where we are. I'm like, yeah, I know there's gemstones in Kenya. And then you go, I think it's blue garnet. I'm like, tomorrow, let's go.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, best of luck, eh?
Yeah.
After a long day travelling, the team take a well-earned rest, relaxing with the locals in the town of Wamba, before getting a good night's sleep in preparation for the day ahead. Today is the day of reckoning, as Steve will find out whether this mysterious blue gemstone is in fact garnet, which would be a significant discovery for Kenya. Before meeting the men who found the gemstones, Simon thinks it would be great for Steve to see some of the problems faced by the people of rural Kenya every day.
Steve, I'm so pleased you come out to us today here. We've worked with the Samburu community here for 8 years, and whilst we've helped with education and sanitation to a certain degree, the most vital aspect of this is water. So we can see here, children like yours and mine are digging these holes to find fresh water when they should be in school.
Because the schools are here.
The schools are here.
Classrooms aren't full because they're wasting their time trying to find the water.
Precisely, so no matter what foundations you put in, they're crumbling because water is demanding all of their time. And those kids, if they could be released from that chore, that burden, that responsibility of digging this riverbed by fresh water being easily accessible, wouldn't that be a fantastic achievement?
So how often do we actually find water coming down this sort of riverbed? Is it 4 or 5 months a year, or?
Essentially, this dry riverbed is an indication of erosion that has taken place over the years. But what happens is when it rains up the hill, then the water quickly gets into the drainage system and goes down the river. And this stream will only run when it's raining. So in a year, I would say that it hardly will run for more than 2 weeks.
a year, just a couple of weeks a year.
Yeah, because it's so much dependent on rains and so much more on how much it's raining up those hills.
And that's why we see they've put a little borehole here to actually go deeper to see if there's any water under the stream bed.
Typically, during the dry season, the members of the community will come to a dry riverbed like this, and they know where to get the water. And that is because in this stream you have an underlying bedrock, and when there is a depression where a lot of sand accumulate, then you'll get water in that area. And those are the areas that they typically target to get water, as we see that shallow well over there.
So part of the project will be to save the children having to dig the boreholes, is to try and somehow retain the water. And part of your research then will be to find new ways of, when the stream is flowing, rather than it just being soaked up into the soil and surrounding areas, to find ways of retaining that water, cleansing the water and providing the village it for the other 50 weeks of the year when the streams aren't running.
That's correct. One possible way is to develop what we call the sandbanks, and this is building up a wall, a short wall to stop, or rather to hold the silt. And normally, if there's accumulation of the sand in front of that wall, it will retain a lot of water. So that could be one way of doing it. But then you still have to then perhaps get the people to pump that water out to reach them. But it's a good way of retaining water instead of losing it all the way down to the main river and to Indian Ocean.
After this insightful visit, the team set off to meet Philip, a Samburu man who has regularly been digging for green gemstones. Through various contacts, word eventually got back to Earthwatch that Philip and his friends had found a blue gemstone that they believed to be blue garnet. Of course, Steve was very excited to hear this news and could not wait for Philip to show him this potentially huge discovery.
Samburu Tribe people have just led us to an area they've been mining, and they told us it was blue garnet. The crystal structure straight away tells me it's not a blue garnet. It's definitely crystallised, definitely it could be sapphire, which would be very unusual for this location. Very, very unusual, to be quite honest. But because the crystal structure is not cubic, it's definitely not blue garnet, which is what we travelled halfway around the world to discover, and even against the threat of terrorism. But we're here, and it's exciting. The whole trip's been worthwhile because we've developed a lot more community projects, but it doesn't look like that we've hit the Holy Grail with the blue garnet. However, he's taking us to another area. It's another 2-hour walk, but we'll see what happens when we get there.
The team set off on a long trek to the second potential site. At this point, Steve's hopes of finding blue garnet are all but dashed. However, just having a chance to candidly talk to the Samburu themselves is enough to make the walk worthwhile.
He plays for Arsenal.
No, he plays for Man United. Just coming up from where we think we found sapphire.
Manchester City was
And he knows Wayne Rooney. He's married to a German lady, but he supports England. Now that is one cool guy.
As expected, this site also reveals no sign of blue garnet, but it's still interesting to see how the severe weather conditions can affect mining for gemstones.
The level that the Samburu miners have been working at is about 2 metres below the top of the earth. But because the rain rarely happens, but when it does happen, it comes big and quick. It moves the terrain, and therefore the terrain can go up and down by quite a big distance. It's a bit like moving sand dunes, when you see a lot of wind on the beaches and the sand dunes move. Well, the same happens here. So after the rain has come and gone, and they come back, it's no longer 2 metres below. It's maybe 3 or 4. In other areas, it's actually higher up because it's washed away some of the surface. So one of the big things they have when they're exploring out here is to keep trying to reevaluate where that pocket was that they found.
Although no blue garnet was found, chatting with Philip about his unusual attire during the expedition has provided the team with an incredible, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Once every 15 years, the Samburu hold a special community gathering, and Philip asked Steve and the Gems TV team if they would like to come along to witness this momentous event.
Philip, who took us to where the mines were with the sapphires, kindly invited us It's a very, very special event. Once every 15 years, the villages come together and hold this ceremony where the boys meet the girls. And the reason it's every 15 years, because here in Samburu, the younger men up to the age of 14 are children, they're allowed to play, but from 14 to the age of 29, they go out and they herd the goats, they look after and protect the local society. And it's at the age of 29 that they turn into an elder. And it's not until they're 29 that they can actually get married. So you can see everybody out, all of the tribes people, the Samburu people, with all their paraphernalia, all their traditional dresses, and all looking absolutely fantastic. Lots of them have travelled and walked 70 kilometres to be here today.
Swapping culinary experiences. Fair swap. Yeah, your yellow berries, my peanuts.
It's the last day for our preparation today. The ceremony is ending by midnight.
Yeah.
So I will be retired warrior.
Yeah.
Give the rest of the warriors to start their new life, hard life.
So today you're 29,
Yeah.
and tonight you lose all of the lovely colourful jewellery,
Yeah.
and you give it to the young warriors.
I give it to the young warriors. I give it to the young warriors.
Hey.
Maybe the one who helped me as the man, the most I respect
Okay.
in the community.
Yeah.
So I give him all my ornaments.
Yeah.
He will respect me the whole of his life.
Yeah.
And I also respect him the whole of his life as a brother, but a brother with respect. Not we don't joke with him.
Mm-hmm.
So this is about this ceremony.
In between herding goats and hunting out gemstones, the young Samburu men, they have to train very hard at jumping as high as they can, because if they want to get married and be selected by one of the ladies over here, it's the man that can jump the highest who is the most eligible.
There you go.
Very good. With the Samburu today, rich stringy. With the Samburu today, start again. Take two. We've had the berries off the bush, those bright orange things, but they were quite vile. But their beef is as good as the beef in the UK. Probably not cooked in a traditional way, but absolutely fantastic. If I don't survive the day, just for the record for my children, it was one of the best days of my life. Actually mixing in with all the tribes people. As you know, the Samburu are part of the Maasai tribe people, and being there with them on an event that only happens every 15 years and them sharing it with us, it was really memorable, absolutely fabulous.
Outsiders bearing witness to this event is almost unheard of, so Steve and the team feel incredibly privileged to have been invited to something so close to the hearts of the Samburu people. Although it's already been a long and emotional day, There's one last stop to make, as Nick shows Steve how a simple solution to a problem can have a huge effect on the local community.
Hey Steve, I had to bring you to this so that I could show you some of the potential work that we do with communities for betterment and availability of clean water. Yeah. This is a rock catchment where water collects and is then brought in to be stored in a tank.
So rains comes running down the rock face, and almost like a giant pinball machine, it's gathering the water to this point, down the pipes into the tank.
Absolutely. And the reason is, we know that due to global warming, the climate change is changing the patterns of rainfall. And at times you're going to get lots of rain, at times you're going to get less. So one way to ensure that we provide community with clean water sustainably is for rainwater harvesting. This is one form of rainwater harvesting.
So if we do it here, why don't we do it in more places?
Well, unfortunately, we don't have rocks like this distributed all over the place. So this is just one solution. And therefore, other solutions have to be brought in. It's got to be a suite of solutions. Yeah. Some solution will be making sand dams. Yeah. Some solution will be putting catchment in people's homes so that they use their roof as the rainwater catchment. Yeah. They collect that and store it in a tank for use within the homestead.
So the funding goes not to find one solution, but like you say, a suite of solutions. Exactly. That some will be community projects, yes, and some will be even on an individual basis.
So it's we have large community projects like this. Sand dams will be community project, and then at individual homesteads we're going to have water catchments as well. So that way, brilliant, people will be having water at home. They can walk to an area like this and get water from such a tank. Yeah. They can go to the sand dams and draw water and give to their livestock.
That's brilliant. Well done.
Yesterday was absolutely fantastic. We went and we found the mining area where unfortunately it wasn't the blue garnet, it was beautiful sapphire. And to be quite honest, that's sort of my whole life really. As a gem hunter, you get more experiences that aren't quite what you expect them to be. When Simon phoned me up and said he had found somebody that knew where blue garnet was, of course, straight away on a plane, let's get out here, because blue garnet is one of the rarest gemstones on the planet, and the whole trip was planned around blue garnet. But we got there and it was sapphire, and it was lovely sapphire. But today is about, can we take those sapphires and some of the savorites and some of the red and green garnet from the area and teach the Samburu Maasai how to incorporate that in their beautiful jewellery. As you've just seen in the cultural experience we had, which was a great event that only happens every 15 years, you saw all that beautiful colour in all the jewellery that they were wearing. But can we incorporate some of these gemstones that are local into that jewellery, and then off the back of that, can we find a way of selling it in the UK and bringing money back here to fund several projects? That's what we're going to try and evaluate this afternoon.
As Steve and Simon approached the first community, in the middle of nowhere, they stumbled upon a strange tin hut. A local villager informed them that the original intention was for this building to be a primary school.
Is that amazing, Steve? Put your hand on the edge of here.
It's like an oven.
Would you want to put your kids in there? I wouldn't. I wouldn't put my dog in there. I wouldn't put my sheep in there. It's incredible. I mean, you can see the blackboard in there. Has it ever been used?
I think the chalk would probably melt. I think the chalk would melt before they had a chance to write anything on the blackboard. But what causes things like this? Somebody obviously had a good intention, but...
They had a good intention, Steve, but this is a problem. You can't just throw money into any problem and expect it to be fixed miraculously. This has been built with all good intention, but the wrong building in the wrong place for the wrong people with the wrong funding. Yeah. Why? Yeah. Why not ask a few questions? Why not involve the community in what they're actually doing?
Of course, it's what Earthwatch does for us, isn't it? Earthwatch. You do your research. You know, I could never imagine Earthwatch building,
it would never happen,
on the equator, a tin primary school.
To put kids in. No, of course it would never happen. And over 40 years of experience, Steve has taught us that research consists of involving a community with active scientific research. So they're involved with what we do. They're involved with the ecosystem around it. We're involved with a community that supports that ecosystem and benefits from it. This would never happen. This wouldn't take 10 minutes research to work out it's a bad idea.
Yeah.
But somebody has walked away saying, I built a school in Africa to help people.
Yeah, and this is it.
How foolish can you be? How foolish can you be?
This was the first of several Samburu communities that Steve would visit today. Their welcoming smiles and beautiful jewellery was beginning to make Steve even more excited about this potential collaboration. Community worker Julius has a fantastic relationship with the local people, and he was kindly on hand to help with the discussion.
Hey Julius, how are you?
Hi.
You well?
Yeah. I'm
Good
well.
to see you.
Good to
Hello?
see you. It's Mary.
Mary,
Yeah.
nice to meet you. I'm Steve. How are you?
I'm fine.
I love your necklace. That's beautiful. So Julius, we've had several days here with the Samburu Tribe. We've travelled around the national parks. We've seen the wonderful giraffes. We've seen the elephants. We've seen the touristy side that the tourists see. But obviously the reason for coming here was two or threefold. We wanted to spend time with Earthwatch to see how we can carry on developing some projects together. We have been to look at the mines, which was very, very exciting with the new gemstone discoveries. But one of the core reasons was to say, is there some way that we can help work with the Samburu people where we can make some jewellery, and then by having the ladies make the jewellery locally, a mixture maybe of the local beads, the plastic beads that you have with the genuine gemstones, and then if I then take it to the UK, of course we pay them for making the jewellery in the first place, but then once we've paid them for making the jewellery, we sell it in the UK, and then we take some of that profits, put it back into Earthwatch and we wasn't sure what the project would be, but for me I think it's now quite obvious. It's about how we give you sustainable water, because we've seen some pretty tragedies over the last couple of days where kids are digging for water where they should be going to school and so on. So if we can find a way of working with Earthwatch so that they can sustainably retain the water from the few weeks of rain that you get, retain that water so the children don't have to then go and dig in the dried out riverbeds trying to find the water, then they can get educated and everything just gets better and better. So the concept is to take the natural gemstones, to come up with some designs that work with the natural gemstones and maybe also with the plastic. And what we really want to do is to embrace the Samburu designs that you wear, but then also incorporate the gemstones, maybe with some belts, some bracelets, maybe some necklaces. And I think by mixing the gemstones with maybe the plastic beads together, so we can maintain the sort of integrity of the Samburu sort of style, but then also with the value of the gemstones, helps us to obviously sell more of the jewellery, and of course the more we sell, the more people we can make sure have access to clean water on a regular basis.
Steve and the ladies spent hours discussing their jewellery and how the money they made from the project would directly benefit the whole community in the long run.
So everybody gets the concept, I think, that what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah, everybody has gotten the concept and everybody is happy about the concept, and they will actually get a lot of tangible and intangible benefits.
Good. Well, let's hope that when we come back, maybe 6 months, in a year's time, that we've got the water solutions all sorted, and everybody's still happy making really nice jewellery for us. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Excellent. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you, ladies. Bye.
For this project to work, Steve needed to involve several communities. Firstly, to cope with the large amount of jewellery that would need to be made, and to ensure that the benefits from the project touch the lives of as many people as possible.
So Rachel told us about another community that they want us to work with, and this is Amin and her community. And Mary and her team and Rachel have all suggested we come and talk to this community, see if we can put a similar project together.
Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
How are you? Fine.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome.
Thank you. So I mean, I don't know how much Julius has actually told you about what we're doing, but we want to work with 1 or 2 communities. And in England we sell jewellery with coloured gemstones in, and we sell it to our customers. And one idea that we have, we do a lot of work with Earthwatch, which obviously you know a lot about Earthwatch in this community, but we want to work with Earthwatch to give you more sustainable water supply. And the way to do that is that if we can work together for you to actually make the jewellery, and then we buy the jewellery from you,
sell the jewellery in England, and then with the profits that come from that, then we can send a portion of those profits back to here, and with Earthwatch and the community, and with Julius and with Professor Nick, everybody can work together to sort of have a sustainable water supply. So the idea here would be that we use your local beads here, and then the gemstones sort of through the different designs. So taking, so we'd have sort of one colour gemstone here, different here, and then keep this with your existing beads, because obviously the gemstones cost a little bit more money, and if it was all gemstones, it would probably be too expensive. So if we just put the little gemstone detail in here, here and here, and then we can build a nice story for the customers about how it's a blend of gemstones and the local sort of beads that you have. Long term, we'd actually even want the gemstones in the middle to be from the local communities here as well. So that's the concept of the project. We work together to come up with the right designs. We buy the jewellery from you, we sell the jewellery in England, and then a percentage of that profit goes back to Earthwatch, and Earthwatch then work with the community, with Professor Nick and with Julius, to actually do the right things and put the money in the right places with the water projects. I think that sums up what we're trying to achieve as well as we can.
Yes. We are very happy about the way you have told us, the way you are going to cooperate with you and that project. We like the way the sample you have told us, we have understand, and it is very good, and we are going to do as a one team.
As a team, good.
The third and final community was essentially just a small family and their friends. These people live off the land, creating their own crops and breeding poultry. They even make their own honey from 3 different species of bees.
Jane, I've seen your amazing designs you've got on today, and I'm just wondering whether we could incorporate some of these beautiful gemstones into them. Have you actually seen these yet?
Yes.
There's red tiger's eye here. I don't know if you've seen this, but I think one of my favourites, what I know that a lot of Kenyan jewellery includes, is the hematite, which is a really nice product, nice and heavy. And this whole opportunity, in terms of all of these wonderful gemstones and your skills, is to present an opportunity for you and your community that benefits Earthwatch,
Yes.
Gems TV, and also your community. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. And this is all totally organic crops, and no pesticides.
No pesticide.
And look
We
at the
use
size of it.
manure, goat's manure.
Or
Yes.
are you put water with the manure and then
Yes.
run it?
Yes, yeah, we plant it.
That's fantastic. So you're making a basic compost tea,
Yes.
and then running it
We
through,
spread it.
and then the irrigation,
Yes, this is
here?
my irrigation.
and this is the result.
Yes.
Proper
that is-
corn. Proper corn. I'd like to stay for dinner if you don't mind.
Yes.
And we were just talking about irrigation in terms of water use, and I think there's a really good case here for running some of this underground.
Okay.
So the drip lines,
Yes.
instead of being able to evaporate so quickly,
Okay.
you pop it underground, and then the roots take all of the absorption,
Yes.
and the sun doesn't steal any of your precious water.
Okay.
Should be nice.
Thank
But
you.
I can't believe how beautiful this is. Organic farming at its very, very best.
What this family has achieved with very little is truly remarkable. Their dedication in providing the community with a better lifestyle can only be an asset when it comes to helping us create a beautiful new range of jewellery for Gems TV. Steve invited all 3 community heads for dinner that evening, furthering the discussion about what could be created with genuine gemstones from the local area, and what Gems TV and Earthwatch could further do to help the people of Kenya. One of the ladies was accompanied by a local man who had some gemstones to sell. Steve had invited him over to take a look at his findings.
So what we've done, we haven't got
with no food.
all our gem kit with us, so we're not sure of exactly what the gemstones are. So we've done a price that he's happy with. I've taken a chance because this isn't just about buying gemstones, this is about trying to help the community. So what we're trying to do is take it back to the UK. I have a few pieces cut. Once it's cut, I can really work out a really good value on it. And then next time when we come out, we can either pay more if it's worth more, or if it wasn't such a good deal, at least tell him that in future we won't carry on unless he can, sell it cheaper. But rather than haggle on the price at this stage, let's take it back, see what we can do with it, and then next time we come out, we can have a better relationship all round.
So you did.
What an amazing time. What an amazing adventure. We didn't get the blue garnet, but we got lots of great experiences and lots of great ideas. This is one heck of a great place. The people are absolutely friendly. The Samburu Maasai are wonderful. We now know that they can create fabulous jewellery, blending sort of almost effortlessly their cultural sort of jewellery that they wear in with our gemstones that we'll cut for them. Fabulous place, and I can't wait to come back again. One more thing, if you'd like to join in and help us with the Samburu, and if you'd like to have a holiday which is more of an adventure really than a holiday, if you want to get involved with monitoring the zebras, helping out with the water project, if you want to see where the jewellery is made, get in touch with us at Gems TV or speak to Earthwatch directly, and we'd be more than happy to have you out here, not just to observe, but to really get involved.
Although the Kenyan Gem Safari was nearly over, Mother Nature provided one last surprise as a majestic herd of elephants walked by, giving the team a fitting African send-off. Even though the Blue Garnet dream was not realised, the Kenyan adventure was a resounding success. Not only were the team allowed to witness one of the Samburu people's most important gatherings, but they were able to build bridges towards the greater needs of the communities. The Samburu are indeed remarkable people, and whatever we can do to make their way of life easier is a far superior gift than anything else we can give.